Okay, we'll go ahead and get started now. So the main thing that we're gonna do tonight is look at the problems on homework 4 that some of you might still be struggling on. And now we did 3 already, and we did 4 already. Some of you need 5, and some of you need help on 1 and 2, right? So I think for this entire meeting, we might take the whole time to do the homework. Let me put this over here. Of course, if we take this whole meeting time to do the homework, then you guys are gonna have to do these sections on your own over the weekend. But that's what we've been doing, so I'm sure you guys have no problem with that, right? Okay, perfect. So I guess we'll start with problem 5 then. I'll put this here. Let me do this. Okay. So just wondering, how many of you already did problem 5? None of you? All right. Logan James Ashbrook says, I think I did it. Oh, yeah? How was it? It's very similar to the lab that we did in week 11, I believe, right? Yeah? Yeah. Let's make this a little bigger. Let's say include Michael Rubio Cruz says, can we do 2 next? Yeah, we can do 2 next. Depending on how long question 5 takes. So question 5 says, write a function that's like this. It returns a vector of strings. It's called decompose, and it accepts one argument, a string called address, right? Write a function like this using string streams that decompose an address into city, state, and zip. For example, it takes Ann Arbor, Michigan, and returns a vector string with city, state, and zip as such, right? Now, this is okay. Let me pull up the one lab that's very similar to this. Okay. Was it this one? Yeah, we're gonna use a method that's very similar to this. We're gonna use the find functions, and we're gonna use substring functions as well. You guys remember this lab, right? Where where in order to change the date into its version, we use the find function to find everything up to the comma, and then say this is our. We find everything up to the space, and we say that this is the month. Then everything up to the comma is the day, and then what's left is the year, right? So I'm just gonna keep this to the side here and use that as a template, I guess. So in order to use those functions, we're going to require the string library, right? And then I will also where did I put it? I will take this function here, copy that, and put it here, right? Oh. And if I do this, of course, I need to include the vector as well. Like that. So we have to do two things. One, we have to write the function decompose, and then two, we have to test it using the main function. What do you guys want to write first, the function or the main function? The function, yeah. I'd rather write the function too. Okay. So we have, so I say, if we're trying to decompose it into city, state, and zip, I say that the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the string called address, which is going to be like this, and we're going to say, hey, everything up to when we see the comma, that's going to be our city, right? So I say in here, we're going to have 3 variables, right? 3 string variables. One string called city, another string called state, and a third string called zip. Okay. Kind of like what we did here, right? And now the next thing we got to do is find everything up to when we see the first comma, right? So I say that our first line of code is going to be very similar to this one, where we're going to take the substring of address starting from 0, and we're going to end where we find the first comma, right? So maybe I'll put this here and this here, and I'll say, city equals, it says lines.substring. Here I'm gonna say, because the string is called address, I'm gonna say address.substring. Now remember, substring takes 2 arguments. The first argument is the starting position of the substring that you want to take, and the second argument has to be the number of characters starting from the starting position that you want to take, right? So for us, because the city name starts from the beginning, we're going to say position 0, and we're going to start from there, and we're going to end where we see the comma, right? So I'll say substring starting from 0, that's the first argument, and then the second argument is going to be address.find comma. And by doing this, we say that city is equal to this. Everything right before the comma, right? Okay, so that's good so far. What do we need to do next? Well, the very next thing we got to do is we have to take address, and we have to remove the substring that we took. That way address is easier to use, right? And that's the reason why in this function here, we use the erase feature. So they said line.erase, and erase has two arguments as well. The first one is the position where you want to start erasing. And the second argument is how many characters it takes, how many characters starting from the starting position that you want to erase, right? So again, it's going to be similar to this, right? So I'm going to say address dot erase, and it's almost going to be the same arguments as this, right? The first argument is 0 again because we're starting from the starting position, but we don't want to erase. We don't want to erase just everything before the comma. We also want to remove the comma and the space that comes after, right? So we could do it like this. We could say address.find, comma, and simply say +2. Now, the reason why I say +2 is because if you just had this by itself, you would erase everything before the comma, which means that you would still have the comma and the space to contend with, right? Now, because I don't want to deal with the comma and I don't want to deal with the space, I say everything up to the comma and then 2 more. That way, I'm left with this, right? Does anyone have any questions so far? Does everything make sense? Okay. Okay, there's that. Okay, so up to this line of code, our address function would be what remains, the state and the zip. Now here's what they did in the Zybooks lab. They repeated the same logic and said, hey, everything up to the next comma, that's what's gonna be our that's what gonna be our day number, right? However, we can't repeat the same logic here. We can't say, hey, everything up to the space, that's gonna be our state, because there exist names of states that have spaces in between, right? Like North Dakota, South Dakota. North Dakota and South Dakota have a space in their state name, so we can't just say, hey, take everything up to the space, because if the state was North Dakota, you would just be getting North, and then Dakota would be left for the zip, and you don't want that, right? So in order for us to do this, we have to do this a little differently. Now, one clever solution is that you can simply say, hey, the substring of the last 5 characters, that will be the zip. And then we'll delete the space, and then whatever remains, that's going to be our state name, right? Okay. So we need to set zip equal to, we need to set zip equal to the substring of the last 5 characters of the address, right? Now, how would we do that? Zip equals address dot substring, right? Now remember, substring takes 2 parameters. The first one is the position where we want to take where we want to start taking the substring, right? Now in our case, we want to start in the position that's 5 positions away from the end. How do we say that? Well, let me open paint.net. So if our string was 10 characters long, and we wanted to get, and we were trying to get the last 5. Well, we know that the size of the string is equal to 10, right? And the indices are from 0 to 9. So in order for us to get the last 5, so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we would have to do is say the size of the string minus 5, right? So I say that for the first address, we're going to say address dot size minus 5. That's going to be the first argument, right? And then the second argument is how many characters after the position we want to take. Obviously, you want to take 5 characters, right? So I think this will work, right? And then the second thing we have to do is, well, assuming this works, we have to delete the substring of everything here, but one further so we can delete the space. So I'm going to say address dot erase. And again, it's going to be similar to this line here with actually this line here with a couple changes. Instead of saying address size minus 5, we will change it to minus 6. And that way we can delete the space as well, not just the zip. And then for the second argument, we want to delete 6 characters because we want to delete the zip plus the space. So I'm going to put 6 here as well. Okay. And then, so by doing that, we've truncated this away from the address and we truncated this away from the address. That means that the only thing that we're left with is the state name, right? So the last part's very easy. We simply say that state equals address because that's the only thing that's left, right? Now, and you know, now that I look at this, it's probably not a good idea to leave these uninitialized. So maybe I'll set this equal to empty string, empty string, empty string. Okay. And then the last thing we have to do is, because we need to return these 3 items at once, we need to use string streams. Does anybody know what a string stream is? I think I used it once before. The idea I had in mind was that I was just going to make a vector of strings and then push these 3 back and then return it. Did Amir teach you string streams yet? Yeah, I don't use these very often, so I need to refresh myself. Okay, so you use the, I guess you say the input out, that like the output operator, and just feed the strings into it, treating this like it was a cout. And then okay. So maybe I'll say string stream city SS. then SS, city, state, zip. It doesn't like that? Okay. All right, you know what? The instructions say to use a string stream, but I'm not gonna use a string stream. I'm just gonna use a vector. So I'm gonna say vector string. Let's call it SS. So SS dot push back. The first thing we'll push back is the city. SS dot push back. Then we're gonna push back the state. And SS dot push back. And then the third thing we'll push back is the zip. And then we'll just return SS. Is a string stream hard to use? Probably not. It's just that I don't use it very often. My understanding of a string stream is that it's like a queue of strings, right? It contains a string, and then you push back another string, and then you push back another string, and then you, if you wanted to return them, you would see out them in that order. But this function returns a vector of strings, not a string stream. So I'm just going to use a vector strings. Okay, so it looks like our main or our function is done, right? The only thing that's left to do now is test if it works. So why don't we do this? In the main function, here's what I want you to do. Say string, let's call this a test string, and we're going to set it equal to, where is it? Well, let's set it equal to this, right? So I'll copy this, put it here, and then we'll pass test to decompose. So I'm going to say, well, actually, this returns a vector string, so I guess I'm going to have to say vector string. I need to give this a name. Maybe I'll call this output, and I'll say output equals decompose test. So output now contains everything, right? So I guess in order to read this vector string, I'm going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than output dot size I plus plus. Okay. I can see why Professor Amir wanted to use a string stream, because if that were the case, you could just see out each individual item. You don't have to use a for loop, but it's all right. And we'll just say output at I. Output at I line. Okay, so if this program works the way we think it would, we should see it output Ann Arbor first, then Michigan, then the zip. How many of you guys think of it that this will work? All we did was copy the same logic from the lab in week 11. Okay. It works. Yeah, it works. All right.
There's a weird thing going on with my thing. It's like loading, but it's like rapidly loading. It's weird. Can I show you really quick?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
One moment. Let's do one more test now. If this really works the way we think it works, then this would work too. If if the state name had a space between. So what if we changed Michigan to New York? Would it still work? It still works. Okay. So I'll change this back to Michigan. All right. I'll stop my share. Valerie Mara, go ahead and share your screen so we can see what's wrong.
Yeah. Oops, that's not that. Okay, I'm just waiting you for the enable it.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to give you permission.
It's okay.
That's right now.
Okay. Hold on, let me just move the bar to the top.
Now, do you think Professor Amir would dock you points because we used a vector string instead of a string stream?
I think so, because I think he's done that before.
He's done that before. Okay. Stop
Or
your
something similar.
build first. Stop your build,
Okay.
Valerie.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's something wrong with your for loop done. So you said int I equals 0. That's odd. I don't see what could be wrong with that.
Yeah. And I've never seen that do that before either.
It's because you forgot to put the return statement in your
Oh.
in your function, because
So
since your vector of string never returned, it doesn't know what
right.
how large size is. So if there was residual data in that register, it would take that as the size, and that's why it kept going
Okay.
for some freakish.
So where should I put it? The
After that
return.
line, press enter. Say return SS like that, and now it should work.
Okay. Okay, there we go. But I've never seen that before because honestly, it would just show a black screen if I didn't do it right. But here it was like going fast or whatever.
Yeah, it was outputting a lot of blank spaces because the size was really huge.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me share my screen again. Do you guys want to quickly change this program to? Yeah, I'll let you get a screenshot. But if you guys are right, and Professor Amir will dock you points if you use a vector instead of a string stream. Do you guys want to quickly look up what a string stream is, and then change this program so you don't lose points? Or do you just want to move on to question 2? Because we have 20 minutes left in this meeting. What do you guys want to do?
I think we should change it to. We have no idea how many points we might dock.
Okay. Let me do something real quick. I'm gonna look something up on the second monitor. This will take 1 moment. I just want to know how a string stream is used. No. Oh, and that's why it wasn't working. We have to include S stream in order to use string stream. That's probably why it wasn't working earlier. Okay, in that case, let me try something. I'm just gonna do this as an experiment because I haven't used string streams so much. Don't copy this code yet until I know that it works. So here's what I'm gonna do. include and instead of this, we will say, instead of that, we'll say string SS, and then we would say SS, and treating this like if there was a C out, we would say city, state, and zip, city, state, zip, zip. And is that really all there is to it? Just return SS now. No suitable user-defined conversion from string stream to a vector exists. Wait. When the instructions said, vector string, I just kind of assumed that string stream is acceptable as a wait, using strings. I just kind of assumed that a string stream was the same as a vector of strings, but apparently it's not, because it says here in this error, no suitable conversion from vector to string stream exists. So if we're not using here, at what point would we be using it? Honestly,
I think the vector string is fine, to be honest.
You think so?
Yeah.
I just
I don't really
know
remember anything about the string strings.
Actually, looking at it, I don't think he taught it.
You think he never taught string stream?
Yeah, this could have been just made ahead of time, like the homework.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have not. So he probably doesn't realize he didn't teach it to us, so it could have been pre-made. He'll understand. He didn't teach us, so we're not gonna know what to do, right?
Right. So maybe this is acceptable. Okay, maybe we'll just not worry about it. So what do you guys say? Is this good? You guys already screenshot this already. You notice that this lab is almost exactly the same as this one, right? You see how similar they are? Okay. Just let him know in an email. Yeah. Let him know that we worked together to try to do this problem, and we just couldn't figure out how to fit string streams into this solution. We made a solution without string streams. Yeah, I don't think he would dock you points for that. So what do you guys say? Do you think we're good? You wanted to?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we should focus on the other things.
All right.
It could probably take all day to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do this. I'll put this here. All right. So now we're gonna do question 2. Now here's another thing that I've been scratching my head on. I wasn't quite sure how, because here's the thing. Write a function that returns a pointer to the first occurrence of a car in a string. No pointer if there's no match. Like I can take it as a string, but here's the thing. It wants us to take strings as an array of characters. And I've never done that before. Can you actually convert a string into an array of characters? I've never done that in the program. Jose Garcia says, I was looking at that right now. Yeah, that seems a little confusing. Let Okay. It didn't work for me. Yeah. Well, if it didn't work for you, we might have to make a slight change to this problem as well. Because in question 5, we didn't use string streams. That was the change that we made on that problem, right? So in this problem, we might make a similar change. We might have to change the arguments in the function. So I'll say this is homework for problem 2. Okay, let's create this. Jose Garcia says, I forgot, but how did you all send a double type pointer? Yeah, that doesn't make sense either. Like, okay. No. You know, okay. Where did I put? Okay, there it is. So problem 2 says write a function that returns a pointer to the first occurrence of a car in a string or null pointer if there's no match. Okay. You guys are not gonna believe this, but I sent an email to Professor Amir before, letting him know that we were working on the homework, and here's what he did. He actually gave me his solution to problem 2. And I'm actually looking at it on my other monitor right now. And you're not gonna believe this, but his typo, maybe it's a typo, because his function definition, in the homework, it returns a double pointer, but in his solution, it returns a car pointer. So maybe that was just a mistake on his part, because like, I remember that I was working on this before with Mr. Ashbaugh, and it didn't work for double pointer. We had to change it to a car pointer. And I'm looking at Amir's solution. His uses a car pointer too. So maybe this was a mistake. And if this was a mistake, then maybe using string streams in problem 5 was a mistake too. Michael Rubio Cruz says, yeah, this might have been made a while ago and he just forgot to update something. Okay. Well, all right, that's fine. Well, if we get a working solution, then that's good enough, right?
Wait, so for question 2, did we figure out how to use, like, how to get the memory address to output?
Well, no, I don't think we could, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. Let me put this over here. All right. I'm gonna put Amir's solution on my other monitor and see how it works. You got it. Okay, no. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just looking at something right now. I'm trying to run his solution on my other monitor so that I can see what exactly he wants us to do. Oh. Let's found this on the internet. Oh. So Noaf sent this to me privately. He said that he found this on the internet. Now this uses a car pointer, just like we're supposed to. Okay. So maybe this would help. I'm sorry, guys. I have a lot of things on my monitor right now. Okay. All right. So, Nawaf, you said you found the solution online. Let's run this and see how this one works, because I think it accomplishes exactly what we're trying to do here. Just because. So the way this works is that this character here, test hello world, it has the S as the second index on the string. So if we try to find it, what would it give us? So it outputs everything after the S. So that's ST hello world. I'm not sure if that's what.
That's the output that we had, right?
Yeah, that is the output that we had. Okay, now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to delete this, and I'm gonna run Professor Amir's solution on this on my second monitor, and then just so I can see what he is expecting of us. Okay. I have
So you're just gonna show us the output then?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm sorry, guys. I have too many things on my monitors. Don't want this. Okay, now I'll copy this. Oh, I guess I can just show you the name. So if S was, this is a sample string and we're looking for A, and it'll say A found at position 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 8. Okay. And then looking for Z in the sample string. Sample string for this one is oh, it's the same one. Z. So because the sample string didn't contain a Z, it said Z was not found. Okay. I'm gonna put this back on my other monitor. I'm gonna try to figure out how exactly this would work. Okay. Wait, I'm trying to make sense of this code and I'm a little confused. Equals position equals S. That part makes sense, but what about character pointer position? Equals S plus size. Okay, guys, I won't do this too often, but here's the thing. I looked at, I'm looking at Professor Amir's code, and I can't make sense of it. So how about I just show it to you guys, and then maybe we can try to understand it together. Does that sound good with you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to understand how and why this works. Because here's the thing, if I can't understand it, then I can't teach it to you guys, right? That's the problem. So here is what it does. We have a pointer, a character pointer to a string, and we have a character called C, right? Now it says int size equals strlen s. Have you guys ever used that function before?
No.
No? Yeah.
Nope, I recently been looking at it because I was not gonna lie, I sort of did this very last minute. I sort of saw on the internet it's sort of similar to like string length. It's basically just finding the length of the array.
Oh, well, how come you can't just say s dot size then?
I have no clue.
Oh wait, you probably can't use size because this isn't a string, it's a car s. It's a car.
Isn't the character array like it's like a rudimentary form of a string?
I suppose so. I guess if one form is convertible to another, then in the function definition, you could return either or. But so the very next thing it says is that character pointer s position equals s. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's debug this and try to understand exactly what's happening. So int main calls this function here, right? So here's what I'm going to do. Let's debug this and work out the solution step by step. So I'll run this. Now, if you ever debugged a program before, you put a breakpoint here, and then the compiler, when it reaches this line, you can start stepping through it and start analyzing what's happening. Okay. So at this point in time, we have a character array called S, called this sample string, and a character CH called A, right? So when it takes those two arguments, it jumps to the function definition, right? So it says int size equals strlen s. So if we recall, this is a sample string. If you can see it in autos here. After this line, size becomes equal to 23. Is 23 how many characters are in this string? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So what this did is that it returned the size of the array of characters. So size is equal to 23 right now, right? So the next thing it says is that if size is equal to 0, it'll return null pointer, right? That part makes sense because if we're trying to return a pointer to something, and that something that we're looking for isn't there, then of course Well, we should just return null pointer, right? So because size was equal to 23 and not 0, these lines of code were skipped and it jumps straight here. So it says while position is currently equal to what? It's currently equal to S. No.
It's basically the first character in that string array.
The first. Oh yeah, you're right. Star position is a pointer variable and it's equal to T right now. The uppercase T is the first character in, okay. All right, so starting to make sense. Now it's saying that while this is not equal to S plus size, so S is the position. Position is a point. Okay, I should draw this out. Okay.
Well, right now he's just going through S, right? Which
Yeah,
is
he's
the
using this
character.
as an iterator. So I'm gonna write this here. So I'm gonna say this is a sample string. So what he's doing is he's using position as an iterator. So I'll probably say so it's currently pointing to here, right? So while it's not equal to S dot size, so currently S is equal to the first position, right? So this plus 23 would equal all the way over here, right? So maybe I'll say plus 23 here. I know that when you plus an iterator, it moves it up a vector. So you use iterators for vectors, right? But I didn't know that you can plus a pointer to an array and it would move it to the next character. I didn't know that before. That's interesting. So yeah, I didn't know that previously. So after this, so this is basically saying while we're not at the end and while we haven't seen character C yet, right? So maybe I'll add a comment here, or actually I can't because I'm debugging. So while we haven't reached the end and while we haven't seen C yet, that's what this while loop is saying. Position plus plus. Okay. Okay, so if we reach, so the only way we would exit this while loop is if we reach the end of the string and have not seen C, or we did see C. Okay. So if position equals S dot size, so that means we've looked at the entire string and have not seen the character C. Return null pointer, right? And then we'll return position. Interesting. So I believe that because C is equal to A right now, this loop will exit after the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 9th iteration. So this while loop would iterate 9 times, right? And then we would return where we found A, right? So car P equals find first S, okay. So right at this point in time, POS is equal to sample string. And this is basically what this is all of this. Right? Because it's everything after where we found well, that's the same solution that me and Mr. Ashmore got before, right? So if we keep going, A found at position 8. What? If position does not equal null pointer, that means we did find it, right? So start position. Okay. So this is dereferencing the pointer to the character. So that's why it's saying A. Found A at position, and then we say position minus S. What's S? S is the character array. So we say a character, we say a character minus a character array. Oh, I'm sorry, this is confusing.
Wait, so a character minus a character array gives you an integer.
So what would be the exact solution without, copying his? Of course.
Right.
Because otherwise, there's a lot of things I don't understand in that. It's because to see, hey, we just wrote out for word for word. I don't think that's what you want. Because it just seems way too complicated.
Yeah. It is complicated. Like, how am I supposed to know? I've never used this function before, so I don't know how to find the size of an array.
Wait, hold on. Apparently, if you do subtract it from the function from the whole array, it gives you the location. Wait, can I show you what they have? Because I was working with you and Logan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, yeah. So over here, this is pretty much like the same thing that we had like figured out.
Yeah.
Right? Looks familiar. Yeah. So when I have it like just outputting this, right? Say I try to print and try to find like F. Yeah.
Yes.
Then it just gives me the rest of the string. Yeah.
Oh, so if you say
Yeah. So then
that
if I
minus,
instead subtract it from the original array, then for some reason when I look for F, it gives me the location.
how do you? How are we supposed to know that?
I have no idea.
Wow, that's
it's probably how the operator works.
So that actually returned an integer value for you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How were we supposed to figure that out? Yeah, that's crazy.
So for some reason, this like what I have here only lets me look for the first 8 characters, which I'm assuming is because of like something wrong with the how much like data it can hold. Like maybe it's like 1 byte or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess that works.
Yeah, this is the solution, or the solution that we came up with when we were working together with Aaron Massey before. Yeah, but that's wow. How were we supposed to know that? Like subtracting a pointer, taking a pointer and subtracting an array from it gives an integer value. How were we supposed to know that? That's crazy.
Good question. Beyond me.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what to tell you guys. This problem 2 is strange. But yeah, but excellent work. That was a good solution. Okay, good. So I guess I'll share my screen again. Okay, so I guess I'll stop this right now, and I guess we'll put this away. So I suppose that this solution is going to be it's going to be similar to yours. Who was the one that was sharing before? Was it you, Aaron Massey?
Now it was me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Excellent work, by the way. That's good
Thank
work.
you.
Yeah. So I guess our solution is going to be kind of similar to Aaron Massey's, right? But you used size of instead of Sterling. But I don't think that makes a difference, right?
It's effectively the same thing, I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
So I guess I'll put this here. Man, that's confusing. But include item nib. Include string. So if you guys want a solution to this, I think I'm gonna open homework again. The first thing we gotta do is take this, right? But instead of saying double pointer, we gotta say car pointer, right? And then I'll put my main function here. Okay. So so instead of having a while loop, you use the for loop, which pretty much accomplishes the same thing, right? So for int I equals 0, I is less than size of s I plus plus. Now you said if s at position I equals c, then return the address of s at position I. This is the solution that we had before, right? And then if we can't find it, we will just return null pointer. Okay. So here it is. Here's our function, right? So let's also say let's make a string to pass on to this. But well, it wants it in the form of a character array. So I guess I'll say car string equals for the string because you don't want to copy. You want your solution to be unique, right? You don't want to copy someone else's. But make the string whatever you want. So maybe for me, I'll say. And say I want for my car that I'm looking for, maybe I'll say car C. Maybe I want to find the letter. Maybe I want to find the letter Z, right? So I'm gonna say car, the position where C is found equals. I will call this function here. And for my S, I will pass string to it. Right? And for my car, I'll pass C to it. Oops. And then lastly, we use that weird thing we did before where we take a pointer to a character and subtract the array from it to get the integer position. Actually, I should have an if statement in case it returns a null pointer, right? So if null pointer. If we say this, then we'll say Z not found. Actually, I'll say, instead of saying this, I should say.
Should we not see out? Or...
Yeah. C. Else. We'll say C out. This found at position and then inside of this we'll say we'll do that weird thing before where we take the pointer and subtract string from it. I still have no idea how this works, but whatever. It's the solution that Amir had. See, not found. Why didn't this work?
Oh, for some reason, because of probably how character arrays work, I don't think that it can contain more than 8 characters.
Oh, really?
So I think it would work if for the first 8, like try it for E, and I think it would work.
So it only works for 8 characters. E found the position too. Yeah. So if I said Q, it would say Q found that position 5, right?
Yeah, Professor's solution probably was more elegant and allowed other like more than 8 characters, but you know.
Did it really?
I think so.
Hold on. What's the difference between his code and ours that allows for more than 8 characters? What if I said Sterling instead of size of? Would that make a difference? And if I change this back to Z, what would that? so string. So the problem with my previous code was that because I was using size of wasn't large enough to return the whole thing. So how come? Let me see. C++ size of. So size of returns size in bytes, and a byte is 8. It can have a maximum of 8, and that's why we can't search beyond 8. So that's the reason why he used the strlen. So we should use string length instead of size of. Okay. I'm glad we caught that, because if we used size of, it would only search the first 8 characters. But if we use string length, we can search the whole thing. Oh, Logan James Ashball posted a link in the chat. Difference between string length and size of. Okay, that's good. I'm glad we caught that. But anyways, if you want the solution to question 2, here it is. Yeah, we've been hacking away at this for a very long time, but now we have a worthy solution, I think. So so here's the function. It's the same function that we came up with before, except this time we have to use string length instead of size of. Okay. And then also, when you're testing this function, what you should do is come up with your own string, right? And make up a character that might exist in the string, like say Z. And then it'll say, hey, I didn't find it, or hey, I didn't find it, and it was at position whatever. Yeah. So, okay, here's our solution now. Wow. Yeah, that was crazy. Okay, do what you need to get this, copy it, screenshot it. Make sure you change it up a little bit.
Can you look at mine really quick?
Sure. If everyone already got this solution, if no one else needs it, then I can start helping Valerie Mora. Did everybody get this already? When you come up with your own version of the solution, make sure you change your string in your car so that your solution doesn't look exactly the same. Have a nice day, Professor. Thank you. You're welcome, Slayman Toki. Okay, I'll stop my share. Because this homework's due tonight at midnight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good we. Okay. It looks like that looks. Okay, so one problem is that on line 10, you should replace size of with Erlen. Because we had to talk. Yeah, that one. Replace size of and say str.
Sorry, I can't hear you. It just broke. It just cut out.
Wait, what?
I couldn't hear you because it just canceled out like the noise.
Okay. Yeah, I said replace size of with Sterling.
Oh.
Yeah.
ST. Is that?
Remove the S. It's LEN.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because size of returns a byte size.
Yeah.
But Sterling,
Actually, let me try to take off my headphones to see if the sound's coming clearer. Alright, let me just.
what else needs to be changed?
Okay, try.
So it looks like there's another error at line 20.
Okay. Okay, that's much better now.
Okay. All right. It said you have an error on line 24 as well, but where is it?
Okay.
Oh, you should delete the open parentheses on line 24 right after cars pointer. Yeah, because that open parentheses isn't doing anything. And then what else?
Oh,
Line 25 says the position queue was not declared. Okay. Okay, so by fixing that, we fixed that too. Okay. Let's see line 31.
okay.
Expected semicolon before. Oh, you need to add a chevron right between your string and the position where Q is found.
And I forgot what a chevron is.
Less than symbol, less than symbol. Okay. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
now it should probably work.
Okay.
Okay. Sterling was not just okay. Let's go. Did you remember to include string?
I should have.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay. String is there. That's strange. Okay. Try including string.h as well.
Okay.
Maybe now it'll work.
Yeah.
Some compilers are finicky.
Okay. Where did I put C? Okay. Just gotta get rid of that. Okay.
Q not found. Was lowercase q not existent in your string?
I guess not.
Okay. To see if it works, try replacing on line 24. Replace the q that's in between the single quotes with w on line 24.
Oh, 24. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, don't change that. No, that's fine.
Hold on. That's not.
All right. Because w does exist in your string. Maybe now it'll find it. Yep.
Okay. So how do I fix that so it's even spacing?
Can I see your if statement where it's an output?
Sure.
So scroll down. On line 32, put a space before the word found. Now it should look okay.
Hold on. That's not it. There we go.
There you go. All right, that looks good now.
Okay.
All right, good job. You can go ahead and stop your show now.
Okay.
Wait, Logan Ashbus for some reason needs to include C string too. C string for what? Logan Ashbaugh. For Sterling. Well, I think we included string and it still gave us the Michael Rubio Cruz says mine worked for string.h. Yeah, some compilers are finicky, but
I think you need to include string.h.
you need to include string.h. All right, let me share my screen again. So I have to include string.h. Well, it worked. Mine worked fine without string.h, but I'm using a different thing. It did. Oh, Michael Rubio Cruz says it didn't work for you until you added it. Okay. So if you need to include string.h, do so. Okay. But yeah, we did question 5 as well as question 2. So I think, oh, Cruz is working, is using code blocks. Okay, that's probably why. Okay, I'll stop my sharing. Okay, so we did question 5 and question 2, and in previous meetings we also did question. What were they again? We also did question 4 and question 3. So I think you guys are good on homework questions, right?
Yeah.
Let me hold on, let me okay, never mind. So okay, so I think that's Logan James Ashbaugh says in the chat, well, we need to change 1 because of new info. If you got, well, actually, now that he's mentioned that, yeah, we might have to.
Yeah, I think we should probably look at 1 because we made a new discovery.
Yeah, I didn't know that a pointer to the array minus the array gives an int value. So yeah, okay, let's. Mr. Ashbaugh, would you like to share your screen so we can change 1?
Sure, I can do that.
All right.
And we have figured out that like this works.
Yeah,
on
it works.
other things, but not here.
Yeah, it works, but now what we have to do. Now what we have to do is hold on. What did we include in the other include item in it? We don't need to include string or anything, but here's what I'd like to do. For your solution, go ahead and remove line 19 or comment it out maybe, and replace that line with this. Let's say C out the position of the largest value. And then we'll say, let's do the thing that we were doing before and say the maximum array, the size. So maybe just copy paste the thing that you had on 20. Minus ARR and L, so that it's on a different line. Let's see if that gives us the position of, let's see if that, see how it's 5. Nope, okay.
I think it means null pointer because that happens on the other project when I had a null pointer without the if statement. So I think that means null pointer.
You think that means null pointer?
Yeah, I might be wrong though.
Okay, hold on. Code blocks did have a problem before with this. Let me share my screen instead. Okay. Share. So this was, why did I have this here? Oh yeah, this is the solution that I came up with before, and this is your code. Okay. So I'm gonna do what I said here. The position of the largest value and and I'll just say this minus R. Now it's not working. Largest value. -32, that can't be right. Why would this work on an array of characters but not on an array of doubles? Well, what did we do differently? Maybe I'll say this. The max double equals like that. And in here, I'll say, but I don't think this would make a difference now, would it? -33. That just doesn't make sense. Well, I know it's returning the largest value because it's 5. If I change the largest value to be like, maybe if I change that to 20, it'll say the largest value is 20. But why is it still saying this? It's strange. Okay. You know what? Maybe my solution for this was right the first time. Maybe I'm fine with this. Is this the problem that doesn't work on certain IDEs? Yeah, it is. Okay. So what do you guys say? I think we looked at these questions long enough, right?
So how do we explain that it doesn't work on code blocks?
Doesn't work on code blocks. Yeah.
So I think he'd understand if it doesn't work on code blocks because there's nothing we can do if it does, if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Brandon Vasquez says, "Can you show it again?" Yeah, I'll show it. Now that I think about it, I think he wants.
Side note, whatever you guys are doing on this one, I think it's because your variable is disappearing. Because it's in the function, any variables declared in the function is deleted. So that address is to that variable, which is deleted. It needs to be set to the pointer, to the point at that variable you're trying to find, or the number.
Yeah, he's right. Any variables declared in the functions, they get deallocated when the function terminated. So maybe that's why.
Side note, string length is not working for me in the other thing. In number 2.
Oh, did you include
Yeah, I included string, but it's just not appearing. It says string length is not declared. At least str len.
Try including string.h.
Or C string.
Yeah, either one of those two, and maybe it'll work.
Thank you.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I know that we are way over time right now, but that's okay. Let me go back real fast. I'm gonna look at something.
So do you plan to finish this one or no?
Well, here's the thing. Here for question 1, my solution is almost exactly the same as the solution that Professor Mir gave me. The only, yeah, he has this for loop and he also has this if statement. So
honestly, what I did, I just declared a new pointer underneath. So I put like double max pointer equal null. And then in your if thing, I put that equal to the address of whatever AI is. And then when you return the max pointer, it would send that.
oh, okay. Do you want to share your solution?
I have it closed at the moment, but sure.
Okay. Because I'm a little curious now. I kind of want to see what you mean. Yeah. My code is almost exactly the same as the solution Professor Amir had, so maybe I won't change it. It's probably all right. So let's see what you said. You said
I did like you said, I put a max
yes,
because I needed some way to keep track of what is the max.
yes,
And I created a second variable, which was a double pointer.
yes.
And then I did the exact same if thing. And then when a max was found, I did the address because that's where it is, just so I can keep track of what is the max.
Yeah, that looks fine.
And then I associated the pointer to that address value. And then I returned specifically the
And then
max point.
if size was equal to 0, you would just return null pointer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because size is not 0, it goes through this. If size is 0, it does return null pointer.
Okay. Can I see what you said in your int main?
What happened?
Can I see your int main?
I basically went through all the, like, just the possibilities of an array with the numbers. As we could see, there's the 10.0 and then 0.1. If I run it, oh wait, I think stop, no one.
Nice.
The first one has 5.0, 10.1, it points to that one. The other one has 0, so it points to nothing.
Okay, cool. So that means okay. Yeah, so yours returns the max value.
Yeah, just adding that one pointer would probably solve like the problem. That's it.
Okay, so maybe we don't have to say. Let me pull up the homework again. Maybe we don't have to say. Yeah, it just says return a pointer to the maximum value. It doesn't say state the position of where it's at. So because our function does exactly that, then maybe we don't need to change this then. Well, one thing that I might foresee a change on is maybe, because this is my solution for question 1. I'm gonna do what he said before. Who was the one that shared their screen before?
Jose.
Oh, Jose. I'm gonna add to change that that
That I recommended.
say that if the size is equal to 0, just return null pointer. Right? So if the size equals 0, and maybe that's the only thing we'll change. But aside from that, it should be the same thing. Well, and now I think about it, maybe I don't need this line. So this is my solution to question 1. Okay, so here's so in order to complete the requirements for question 1, it just says write a function that returns a point to a maximum value of an array, and that's it. This function does exactly that.
I know I've asked too much, but can you look at it one more time, at least my thing, because it's finding errors, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm here to help you. So, yeah, go ahead and share. Is this your problem 1? Okay. On line 6, put squiggly brackets underneath that if statement. And let's say if the size is 0, let's just return null pointer. No, you don't need an if. You already have an if. Inside of that, just say return null pointer. Yeah. Null pointer. NULLPTR. There you go. And then now that I think about it, you don't need line 27. Just comment out line 27. To comment something out, you need to say \\\. It's not the pound symbol. There you go. Run it. Let's see what it says. Error, a function definition is not allowed for. That's line 24.
You forgot closing bracket.
Yeah, you forgot the ending squiggly bracket. So somewhere between your int main and your return, put a closing squiggly bracket. Oh, delete that opening squiggly bracket on 22. And put, yeah, there you go. Try it again. Dang it. This is the code that works on other IDEs, but not code blocks. Oh, what was the name of the other IDE that you use? What, Replit?
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that an online compiler?
Yeah, once you make an account, you can, yeah, all you need is to make an account, really.
Okay. Valerie Mora, do you have an IDE that isn't code blocks? Do you have Visual Studio installed or no? Or maybe you can just write a little note to Professor Amir saying, hey, this code works on other IDEs, but not code blocks.
I put it in a comment on my code.
Okay. Okay. But aside from that, does anyone need anything else? I want to put this video up onto the Blackboard before midnight, and for videos this long, YouTube takes an hour to process the recording.
All right. Well, have a good night then. Bye.
I also just got to work in code blocks.
Okay. So does nobody need anything else? Are we good? Okay, so you all know what you're doing over the weekend. You got to do the week 13 sections on your own, so that we'll be prepared to do the lab on our next meeting. Okay. All right. So if nobody needs anything else, we could wrap up this meeting now. We good?
Have a good weekend, Fraser.
You too. Thanks for coming, guys.